I was talking with Bishop this week and remembering growing up with my brothers and sisters. We were a high-spirited group of children. I'm sure that my quiet and meek and mild-mannered demeanor might fool you. But they were much more boisterous and loud than I was. And I remembered my childhood as being consumed with making alliances and plotting revenge. No one was safe in my family because we were complete mercenaries. There was no loyalty within the family. Now, if someone from outside the family attacked, well, all of a sudden we circled the wagons and it was bad news for them. But we were horrible to each other. And I could regale you for hours with stories, but suffice to say, it was not a calm or quiet household. I was talking to Bishop about the exploits. It occurred to me what a big deal getting even was to us. Even as my oldest brother pummeled me for some infraction, usually for speaking when not invited to do so, or for allowing a hairbreadth of my sleeve to cross over to his side of the car, even as I was being pummeled, I was plotting revenge. I was figuring out with whom to make the alliance of the other two in order to get him back for this. Because I never wanted to be one down. I could tolerate even, and I preferred to be one up, but being one down with him was just an impossible idea for me. And see, this concept of being even usually starts in childhood. I mean, when our mothers slice the cake, immediately we're worried that one of the siblings might get the bigger slice, hence the practice of having one slice and the other one choose. We want our fair share of the cake. And when it appears that we are not getting our fair share of the cake or of anything else in life, we begin to squeal. And we squeal loudly. And I suppose it's not necessarily sin to want one's fair share, but then what is a fair share? If you've ever been to my office, you see that I have a piece of paper proclaiming the rules of life. And the first rule of life is, life's not fair. Because fair is a subjective idea. What's fair to you may not seem fair at all to me. And when someone takes from you what he feels fair, if you don't feel that it's fair, well, then you feel you've been wronged. And see, the odd thing is this thing really causes trouble when whatever was taken was not a material good. Material goods we can deal with a little easier. For instance, if someone speaks badly about me, he takes my reputation. And my human instinct is to do what? Get even. I'm going to take his. Only I'm going to make it a little bit worse. I'm going to really destroy his reputation, even if I have to exaggerate the story a little bit. Even if I have to sort of leave out the parts that I played in the whole problem. But that's not God's way. That is the way of Satan. So if you're rolling your eyes and you're thinking to me, yeah, get real, Pastor. I'm not going to just stand back and passively allow somebody to talk about me without fighting back. Okay, but just realize that when you do that, you are choosing to play in the devil's arena. And when you choose to play in the devil's arena, you're leaving God behind. Because he didn't play there. See, God's clear. We have our Old Testament reading today from one of my favorite books, Leviticus, where God says, "Be holy as I am holy." And you will notice, when you read Leviticus, as I'm sure you all have, from cover to cover, you will notice that there is no exclusionary statement that allows us to be unholy under certain distressful situations. Be holy. Done. Regardless of what was done to you, be holy. Regardless of what will be done to you if you choose holiness, be holy. And then Jesus re-emphasizes this in the gospel today when he goes through the practical applications of holiness and tells us that if we get smacked, to turn the other cheek. To give not only what one begs for, but double that. And to love your enemies. And to pray for the people who persecute you. There's no allowance for getting even. No allowance for vengeance. No allowance for evil. Why? Why are we not allowed to exercise our rights as free human beings to take back that which was taken from us? Because nothing is ours. That slice of cake that your brother took was not his. It was not yours. It was not even your mother's. It was and continues to be God's cake. That cash in your pocket is not yours. That thing or that job or that position of which you are so proud is not yours. It is God's. And we have no right to exercise vengeance of any kind, to recapture or punish, because it's all God's stuff. If there is vengeance to be taken, that's God's too. The only time we have the right to exercise judgment is when we are doing so by God's command. So I will defend you if you're being robbed, because God has commanded me to protect the needy and the defenseless and to love my neighbor. I will happily sue anyone, anytime, if somehow that suit will further the gospel and increase the well-being of God's children. We have the right and the privilege of exercising holiness, not vengeance. And the Lord strengthens us in our resolve to do so with His Word and with His holy sacrament, so that we are able to conquer the idolatry of equality and instead focus only on holiness. As we are enabled to choose to exercise holiness, we will find great joy as people who never bring evil to a situation, but always bring good. We never have to worry, you see. We never have to worry about getting even, because we always were and are now already ahead. Getting even for us is a step backwards. God is our portion. God is our defender. God is our Father, and we are His children, and no one can ever take any of that from us. So choose holiness. It's better than getting even, because it's a win.